Previously on Banlist Roulette. It's pretty much just the running joke of Banlist videos, and I figured if we're playing Banlist Roulette, we have to give Stratos his fair chance to return. Will he come back? Let's find out. What's going on, guys? It's Cimo. We got the wheel back, and you know what that means. It's time for November 2018 Banlist Roulette. Now, for those of you who didn't see the original Banlist Roulette, basically what we do is we name a bunch of cards that might get hit on the upcoming ban list, and since we never know what Konami's gonna fucking do with the ban list, we're gonna leave it all to chance, because quite frankly, that's sometimes what it feels like when we get these new lists. So, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single upload, and if you really love Banlist Roulette or any of the other content that I produce on this channel, then consider supporting me on Patreon or becoming a YouTube channel member, because it's thanks to those like Aberrant, Jakari, and even Matthew that I'm able to bring you this content on a daily basis. So if you're interested, hit the join button down below or check out the links in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. We're gonna start off with one of the most contentious aspects of the current format, FTKs, because let's be real, they're probably never gonna ban Firewall Dragon. A lot of us believe this, so if they're not gonna hit Firewall Dragon, although we'll let the wheel decide Firewall Dragon's fate later, we have to kind of focus on different cards, and these cards are basically all of the monster tributing enablers that burn our opponent to death. You know, Cannon Soldier MK2, Amazoness Archer, Shadow Priestess of Ohm, basically any card that's going to do the same thing just in a little bit of a different way. A lot of people want to see these cards go, so let's go ahead and see what the wheel has in store. Well, guess FTKs aren't going anywhere. The next card I have on my list is Armageddon Knight. Now, since we're not going to be hitting, you know, the problematic cards, I kind of feel like they're going to hit something like Armageddon Knight, because basically Armageddon Knight has essentially devolved to the point where it's a single card FTK in several different decks, and it's not really Armageddon Knight's fault. It's kind of just the fact that there's all these other cards to kind of complement and augment Armageddon Knight that makes Armageddon Knight basically one of the best and most powerful starter cards in the game, at the current moment at least. So Armageddon Knight being an automatic foolish burial that, you know, also just happens not to be once per turn is being rather abused, especially because Firewall and other cards like this exist. So I think it's a pretty fair candidate for the wheel. Let's go ahead and see where Armageddon Knight is going to end up. Well, looks like Armageddon Knight's not going anywhere either. This is really not looking too good for the new ban list. Another card a lot of people are talking about is Destiny Hero Malicious, because very similarly to Armageddon Knight, Malicious kind of just helps enable the one card Isolde with Armageddon Knight, and the fact that you can basically keep banishing Malicious, special summoning out another copy. We've seen this used in plenty of Warrior Turbo decks, Dark Warrior decks. Hell, even Burning Abyss is taking advantage of Malicious just to hard make Beatrice, and while that's not the problematic aspect, with Master Rule 4 and Link Summoning, Malicious is becoming more and more problematic, and it's been on the ban list before, so it wouldn't be a surprise if it returned. Let's see if Malicious is going to have a very quick exit out of the new format. Well, looks like Malicious is gonna be the first ban of November 2018. Honestly, I don't think people really mind that too much. Next up is Summon Sorceress. Oh my god. Summon Sorceress actually got banned in the OCG on their last list, and you know, their format's a little bit different. They've got Crystal Needle Fiber, so Summon Sorceress is just, you know, just completely, utterly nuts over in their format, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it's utterly broken in our format as well. We've seen that it's a jump promo, which is basically a meta-defining card in that in the European regions it's not legal, where in the US regions it is, and guess what? Summon Sorceress makes so many other decks viable that would not be so in the European regions. Now, it's not like this massive discrepancy, but it's a card that's problematic enough, and honestly, any card that just says special summon from the deck and basically has no cost is a really scary card, and honestly something that's probably going to get hit at some point. Let's go ahead and see what the wheel says about Summon Sorceress. And Summon Sorceress is going to go to 1, which would do absolutely fucking nothing. Now, another card a lot of people are really sick of is TOPOLOGIC GUMBLAR Dragon. And the reason for this is quite simple. Starting a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! With only 2 cards in your opening hand is really not fun or interactive whatsoever. Now, there are some ways to counter this. I mean, you could have stuff like Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries with GUMBLAR Dragon in your extra deck. That's something you could do. You could also play something like a deck that can kind of not really care if the cards get discarded, but in most instances, just losing that many resources really isn't a lot of fun. And people have been calling out for GUMBLAR Dragon to get hit. So I thought it'd make a good candidate. Let's find out what happens. And GUMBLAR is staying exactly where it is. Wow. This format isn't going to be looking too different now, is it? Now I want to change it up a bit and talk about Sky Striker Mobilize Engage, because this card is just absolutely crazy. It's been crazy since it was first printed several months ago, and it continues to be crazy even to this very day, even though Sky Strikers are somewhat falling in decline. You know, it's not like the best #1 deck, but it's still in the top 3, and it's probably going to be until something happens to this card. Now, this card did get semi-limited in Japan, and it's kind of had a little bit of an impact on the deck's performance, but still one of the strongest decks of their format. So let's see where Sky Striker Engage ends up on our next list. And it looks like Engage is going to 1. That would actually shake things up quite a bit, and I think a lot of people would be pretty happy about that. Another card I wanted to take from the OCG is Gold Sarcophagus. Now, Thunder Dragons have had a pretty decent showing at the past few YCSs, at YCS Niagara and London. It took multiple top spots, and Gold Sarcophagus is one of the best cards in their deck just because it kind of just helps enable all of their plays, helps you tutor for whichever effect you might want in any particular instance. It's not once per turn, and it's kind of just a really good card all around. It was really just waiting for a deck to be able to abuse it, like Thunder Dragon. Now, if you look at the OCG's metagame, Thunder Dragon isn't nearly as popular, if even present at all, and that's because Gold Sarc went to 1 and really kind of crushed the deck. There are still ways to work around this with stuff like Brilliant Fusion and things like that, but really hitting Gold Sarc gets at the deck's consistency, so let's see what's going to happen to Gold Sarc on this upcoming list. Alright, Gold Sarc staying at 3. You know, you Thunder Dragon players, or even, I guess, zombie players, I guess you can go ahead and rejoice because you're still going to have those Gold Sarcs at your disposal. And don't think I forgot you Altergeist players, because Multi-Faker is another card a lot of people are really sick of, even though Altergeist isn't the best deck. I believe Altergeist Multi-Faker is semi-limited in Japan, so, you know, it's another card that's extremely powerful in the right circumstances, and again, it could be one of those cards that may be problematic in the future. I don't personally think so, but again, people brought it up, so let's see what happens. And Altergeist Multi-Faker is staying exactly where it is. Man, this wheel is being very generous to a lot of different decks. Now, if we're talking about the ban list, we have to talk about Maxi. Maxi is probably one of the most polarizing cards in the entire game. It creates this dynamic where some people think it's extremely healthy, while others on the other side of the fence think it's the absolute worst thing ever. And that's good, because there's arguments to be made on both sides. And it's extremely controversial. We have it at 0. Japan has it at 3. Let's see what the wheel has in store for Maxi. Well, Maxi's going to 3, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done. Another card I want to talk about is Soul Charge. Soul Charge is becoming more and more problematic the longer it remains in the game. Even at 1 copy, just becomes this one-of-Saki card that can completely shift the game around into another player's favor, generating massive advantage at the cost of life points, which is a finite resource but doesn't really matter as long as they don't hit 0, especially now that we're in Master Rule 4 with links and all these crazy shenanigans that decks are able to do. I really think it's Soul Charge's time to go. You guys might not agree, but let's go ahead and see where Soul Charge is going to end up. Well, Soul Charge is going to 2. Oh, it's staying at 1. My bad. So I wanted to wrap the video up with one last card, and the wheel was able to predict in the last video that STRATOS was going to come off the ban list, and it did. Now, I'm not saying the wheel is any sort of divine artifact or anything like that, but if we were able to manifest STRATOS off the ban list, maybe we can manifest FIREWALL onto the ban list. Who knows? Let's see what happens. guys thought one Firewall Dragon was bad. So guys, that's gonna wrap up the video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about Banlist Roulette and what cards you think are going to get hit on this upcoming Forbidden and Limited list. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. So guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Be sure to like the video as always. Subscribe to the channel for more amazing Yu-Gi-Oh content. And if you found this video entertaining, consider supporting me on Patreon or becoming a YouTube channel member. Because just by showing your support in any way that you can, you're investing in my ability to continue bringing you amazing Yu-Gi-Oh content. So thanks so much again, and we'll see you next time.
1, 2, 3